Ever find yourself pondering how much it actually costs to produce your everyday groceries? Welcome to a deep dive into the hidden world behind the price tags of your shopping list. It's a journey that takes us from the sprawling fields of grain, to vast manufacturing plants, to the neatly stacked shelves of your local supermarket. When you pick up a loaf of bread, a box of cereal, or a candy bar, do you ever stop to think about what went into creating that product? It's not just about the raw materials like wheat for your bread or cocoa for your chocolate. There's a whole chain of events, each with its own costs, that leads to the final price you see at the checkout. Consider the farmers who grow the crops. They have to invest in seeds, fertilizers, and machinery, not to mention the cost of the land itself. Then there's the cost of harvesting and transporting the crop to a processing plant. At the plant, the raw materials are transformed into the products we recognize. This involves machinery, labor, electricity, and often packaging materials. From here, the products are shipped to distribution centers, and then to individual stores. Each stage involves transportation costs, including fuel and labor. Then there are the less obvious costs: marketing campaigns to make you choose one brand over another, research and development to create new products or improve existing ones. And let's not forget about the profits that the companies, distributors, and retailers all want to make. We'll be taking a closer look at some common grocery items to break down these costs and show you just how much of the price is a result of these hidden factors. From the humble loaf of bread to the flashy compact disc, we'll pull back the curtain and reveal the surprising truths about the real cost of your groceries. You might think twice about your grocery list after discovering these shocking truths. Get ready to see your supermarket in a whole new light. Consider a staple item, the humble loaf of bread. It's in virtually every pantry across the globe. But have you ever stopped to ponder the costs that go into producing it? Let's slice it down and see. First, we have the raw materials. Wheat, water, yeast, and salt may seem straightforward enough, but there's more to it. The wheat has to be grown, harvested, and milled into flour. This involves costs for seeds, farming equipment, labor, and machinery for milling. And let's not forget the cost of water, which varies depending on the region. Next up is labor. Bread isn't just magically appearing in your supermarket. There's a team of people behind every loaf, from the farmers cultivating the wheat, to the bakers kneading the dough, and the drivers delivering the finished product. Each person plays a crucial role. Then we have packaging, that plastic bag protecting your bread from the elements and keeping it fresh. It's not free. Packaging involves design costs, material costs, and the cost of the machinery to package each loaf. Transportation is another significant factor. From the wheat fields to the mill, from the bakery to the store, each mile adds up. The cost of fuel, vehicle maintenance, and the wages of the drivers all contribute to the final price. And of course, there's marketing. The catchy jingle on the radio, the eye-catching packaging, the sponsored posts you see on social media. All these strategies are employed to ensure that when you think of bread, you think of their brand. And these strategies have a price tag. So when you add up the cost of raw materials, labor, packaging, transportation, and marketing, the actual cost to produce that loaf of bread is more than meets the eye. And the loaf of bread you purchase for a couple of dollars, its production cost may surprise you. Ever wondered about the sweet economics behind your favorite Mars chocolate bar? Let's unwrap the truth, starting with the cost of ingredients. The primary components of a Mars bar are sugar, milk solids, cocoa butter, and cocoa mass. The current market price for these ingredients varies, but let's say it adds up to around 40 cents for each bar. Then there's the manufacturing process, which involves mixing, refining, conching, tempering, molding, cooling, and wrapping. This is a complex process that requires specialized machinery and trained personnel. The cost of manufacturing varies based on the efficiency of the production line and the wage rates in the country where the factory is located. But let's say, for simplicity, that it costs about 20 cents per bar. Next, we have packaging. The Mars bar is wrapped in a brightly colored foil and paper wrapper, which is designed to attract consumers and protect the chocolate. The cost of the wrapper, including the printing and application, might be around 5 cents per bar. And then there's marketing. Mars Inc. spends millions of dollars each year on advertising, promotions, and other marketing activities to make sure that their candy bars are top of mind for consumers. If we spread these costs over the billions of candy bars they sell each year, the marketing cost per bar might be around 10 cents. So, add it all up, and the estimated total cost to produce, package, and market a Mars bar is about 75 cents. But when you buy a Mars bar at the store, you're likely paying around $1.50, so where does the rest of the money go? Well, some of it goes to the retailer, some to the distributor, and the rest goes to Mars Inc. as profit. Next time you unwrap a Mars bar, remember the surprising costs hiding beneath that wrapper. Hydration is essential, but at what cost? Let's delve into the production costs of Prime Hydration drinks. So, what does it take to produce one of these thirst-quenching beverages? Let's start with the ingredients. Water is the main component, but it also contains electrolytes and flavorings. The cost of these ingredients is surprisingly low, amounting to only a few cents per bottle. Next comes the bottling process. This involves not just the physical bottle, but also the cap and label. The manufacturing process is automated, but there's still a cost associated with it. And that cost, again, is relatively low, coming in at less than half a dollar per bottle. Packaging is another key component of the cost structure. Each bottle is carefully packaged to ensure it reaches the customer in the best possible condition. This includes the cost of the cardboard box, the plastic wrap, and the labor involved in packing each bottle. Even with all these factors, the total packaging cost is still under $1 per bottle. The final piece of the puzzle is marketing. This is where the costs start to add up. Prime Hydration spends millions every year on marketing campaigns to make sure their product is top of mind for consumers. Whether it's a billboard, a celebrity endorsement, or a social media campaign, these marketing efforts don't come cheap. The marketing costs can amount to several dollars per bottle. So, when you add it all up, the total cost of producing a Prime Hydration drink is a few dollars. But hold on a second, what's the retail price? It's significantly higher, isn't it? That's right, the retail price often exceeds $5 per bottle, so the profit margin on each bottle is quite substantial. So, the next time you're quenching your thirst with a Prime Hydration drink, consider the money that goes into each sip. It's not just about the cost of the ingredients or the packaging, it's also about the cost of getting that bottle into your hands, and of course the profit that the company is making. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but what does it cost to produce that box of Kellogg's cereal that you love so much? Let's dive into the crunchy numbers. Firstly, let's talk ingredients. A typical box of Kellogg's cereal contains grains, sweeteners, vitamins, minerals, and a few other elements. The cost of these ingredients fluctuates, but on average it comes to about 75 cents per box. Next we have the cost of manufacturing. This includes the milling of the grains, the mixing of the ingredients, the baking or toasting, and the packaging. This process requires energy, machinery, and labor. The estimated cost of manufacturing a box of Kellogg's cereal is around $1.25. Now let's not forget the packaging. The cardboard box, the plastic bag inside, the ink for the colorful and attractive designs, all these add up. The packaging cost per box is estimated at around 30 cents, and then there's marketing. Those commercials you see on TV, the ads you scroll past online, the promotions in the grocery store, they all cost money. Marketing costs vary greatly, but for the sake of this discussion, let's estimate it at 50 cents per box. So, adding all these costs together, we get a total production cost of about $2.80 per box. But wait a minute, how much do you usually pay for a box of Kellogg's cereal at the grocery store? $4, $5, maybe even more. That's right, the retail price is significantly higher than the production cost. This difference, or markup, goes towards covering the expenses of the retailer and of course the profit of both the retailer and Kellogg's. Next time you pour a bowl of Kellogg's cereal, remember the surprising costs that brought it to your breakfast table. And while you're crunching on those flakes or pops, think about the interesting journey they've taken, from the farm to the factory and finally to your bowl. In the digital age, the compact disc may seem obsolete, but what are the costs behind its production? Let's delve into the life of a compact disc, an artifact from the not-so-distant past. It's a journey that starts with raw materials. The primary component, polycarbonate plastic, is derived from crude oil. A single CD requires just a fraction of a gallon, but when you consider millions of CDs produced, it adds up. Next, the disc receives a thin layer of aluminum, which is then coated with a protective lacquer and hardened under UV light. Each of these steps involves energy and materials, adding to the production cost. Then comes the manufacturing process, where our disc takes shape. A stamper imprints the data onto the plastic disc, and the aluminum and lacquer layers are added. This process requires machinery, which isn't cheap. Maintenance, energy consumption, and labor costs all factor in here. Once our disc is formed and data imprinted, it's time for packaging. The jewel case, made of more polycarbonate, plus the paper for the cover art, add further to the cost. And we can't forget the cost of designing that cover art. But wait, we're not done yet. Marketing is a significant part of any product's journey. From the album launch party to the billboards, TV and radio ads, and social media campaigns, these expenses can often dwarf the physical production costs. So we've got these costs for materials, manufacturing, packaging, and marketing. Now let's compare them to the retail price. A new compact disc typically retails for around $15 to $20. However, the actual cost of producing the disc is only about $1. That's quite a markup, isn't it? But remember, these costs don't exist in a vacuum. They're part of a larger ecosystem involving artists, record companies, retailers, and more, all of whom want their share of the pie. Next time you pop in a compact disc, think about the hidden costs that made it possible. So, what does it all mean for your grocery bill? Well, let's take a step back and look at the surprising production costs of everyday grocery items. Remember the bread loaf, an everyday staple that costs less than $1 to produce, yet we pay more than double that price at the store. And that candy bar you're indulging in? The sugary indulgence costs merely a few cents to create, yet we shell out almost $1 if not more. Now let's turn our attention towards the thirst-quenching Prime Hydration drinks. The cost to produce one of these seemingly simple drinks is shockingly low, around 20 cents. Yet we pay a whopping $2 to $3 for that same bottle at the retail store. And let's not forget the crunchy numbers behind our favorite Kellogg's cereal. A box that costs roughly $1 to manufacture, but when we reach for it on the grocery store shelf, we're handing over $3 to $4. Lastly, consider that compact disc you bought for your favorite tunes or software. It costs a mere 15 cents to produce, yet we pay anywhere from $10 to $20 for it at the store. All these examples highlight a stark disparity between production costs and retail prices. But what does this mean? Well, it means that large brands are making a pretty penny off of us, the consumers. These brands are making profits that are often several times more than the production costs. They're raking in the dough while we're left scratching our heads at the checkout line, wondering why our grocery bill is so high. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? The hidden costs of everyday items are not so hidden after all. They're right there in the price tag, a testament to the profit margins of large brands. The next time you're at the grocery store, remember the hidden costs behind each item in your cart. We've taken a journey through the hidden costs of your everyday groceries. From the humble loaf of bread to your favorite candy bars, we've peeled back the layers to reveal the complex economics that drive these everyday items. We've quenched our thirst for knowledge with a look at the profit margins of Prime Hydration drinks and given you a taste of the crunching numbers behind Kellogg's cereals. We even took a detour to the world of technology, uncovering the surprising costs of producing a compact disc. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Every product on your grocery list has its own unique story, its own hidden costs and profits. Being an aware consumer isn't just about finding the best deal, it's about understanding the true value of what you're buying. So, next time you're at the grocery store, remember to think twice. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more eye-opening content like this.